Welcome to episode number 3 of the Justyn Eddy Russell Show. We got some video this time. I worked out that I've got a video camera on my laptop, and I figured from the advice of a mate of mine, he was like, "Hey dude, this would be sick if you fucking had some video." So I thought, why not? Let's give this a bloody rundown. I've got my trusty drink here. Fucking got it yesterday. Black Douglas Scotch whiskey fucking blend or whatever it is. Tastes pretty good. So, it's the weekend. It's fucking night time. I'm enjoying the weekend. It's pretty good. I was having some discussions with the old misso about. We went for a drive, obviously, because with all this COVID-19 stuff going on, you don't have a lot of contact with a lot of people, so it's just me and her. Obviously you can go outside if you're doing some exercise or whatnot. Otherwise, I think as good as it gets is going for a bit of a drive and seeing the town, getting a bit of the scenery and soaking in some fucking sunlight, I suppose, through the rear vision, through the fucking through the windscreen. But we got on to the discussion about burgers, because we were talking about I know it started off with how, like, the association of fast food, it can like change your emotion, so it can actually make you feel. I mean, at first, say for example, you drive up to McDonald's, and you go to get a burger or whatever. At first, you're like, "Fuck yeah, I'm getting that burger." As soon as you go to pay for it, though, you kind of like, well, this is how I feel. I go to pay for it, I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. But, you eat it and whatever. And when it goes down, at first, when you first initially go to buy it, you're like, I'm getting this burger, or it's getting this meal, or whatever the fuck you're getting from Macca's. You shovel it into your face, and then you go, and then you start feeling a bit like, oh, fuck, why did I do that? But then we started getting on to the idea of, like, what is a burger? What is a good burger? And you know what? This is my take on the Big Mac burger. I think the Big Mac burger is like a chick with big tits, right? She's got big boobs, but the tits are fake. All right. The tits are big, but they're fake. They're not really tits. Like, I don't think a Big Mac burger is really a burger. I think Macca's do make good burgers, and I think the good burger is the fucking quarter pounder meal. It's just got, like, a thick bit of meat on it, with a bit of cheese and whatever else they've got on it. That's all I can really think about it right now. Fucking cheese and meat and a bit of fucking bread, mate. Just bite into that. A few pickles, a bit of tomato sauce. Bob's your sister, mate. You've got a fucking burger. That kind of burger, that is an equivalent of a woman that has big tits, but they're natural, right? So it's like, all right, she's got big tits and they're natural. The Big Mac is the other deal. It's like, all right. I mean, you might be into that. You might be like, fuck yeah, after a big night out, smash a Big Mac. Fucking oath, mate. That might be something that you're into, but I'm into something more natural. I like the natural stuff. I like the natural boobies. Give me the fucking quarter pounder meal, mate. Don't give me that fucking rubbish Big Mac meal. I don't want none of that fucking... What do they got? 3 pieces of fucking bread and 2 bits of meat. Oh, I think that's what they got anyway, when they're fucking Big Mac sauce, their fancy fucking Big Mac sauce with a bunch of lettuce on it. No, mate. Give me the fucking slap of meat and cheese and a few pickles, tomato sauce. You got me your fucking burger, mate. You've already filled me up with fucking goodness right there. You don't need to add the fucking Big Mac fucking sauce onto that shit as well. It's fucking. Not to mention, it's not as big. It's like, I feel like the quarter pounder fucking burger is like this nice, thick, like, layer of fucking, I don't know, heart attack goodness. Whereas the Big Mac's just like this perky little fucking fake piece of shit that, in my opinion, is not a good burger. You know what's even better than that burger right there is the Whopper burger from Hungry Jack's. I feel like that is a fucking good burger. Like, it actually, like, it dribbles down your fucking arm as well. Like, when you're biting into it, you got mayo and fucking meat juices just dribbling down your fucking arm, and you bite into it, you get a bit of lettuce, onion, fucking tomato and shit with that as well. Like, and then you get the ultimate fucking, the ultimate fucking Whopper burger, whatever it's called. You get 2 fucking bits of like meat patty, you get a bit of bacon, you get some lettuce, tomato, onion, fucking, did I say mayo already? Yeah, and then fucking dribbles down your fucking arm when you chew into it. That to me, that is a fucking burger. That is a chick with big tits and fucking everything else in between. That is the equivalent of that. The Big Mac meal is a fucking, yeah, that's a fucking perky bitch. That fucking gravity's about ready to take its toll on her. So, I don't really think Big Macs are the burgers you should go for as far as going for a franchise burger. Obviously, the real burgers are the ones that you get from the local store just down the road. You go get a fucking burger from your local fish and chips store or some shit, like a fish burger or a steak sandwich somewhere. Those are obviously, they're a real fucking burger. Those ones, they pack all the fucking punches. Those ones where you like bite into the steak, you have a steak burger or whatever, and you can barely chew through it. You got to fucking, half the bread rips off it while you bite into it. Your nails have to dig in there because you got so much fucking tension on the bitch. That's a fucking good burger, I reckon. Something you got to really chew into. It's a bit tough, obviously. It's tough meat, so it's fucking. It probably wasn't handled that well when it went to the slaughterhouse. They're probably a bit stressed out when they fucking put a bullet in its head. Obviously, it's nothing that you really want to imagine when you're biting into the burger, but you do think that cow, the beef, the fish, whatever you're biting into, we're talking about beef here, you bite into it, and I don't know what you guys do, but if ever I'm having a fucking nice steak sandwich, I'll just say to myself quietly, like, thanks, cow. Thanks for your body, man. You know, this is very appreciated right now. I'm very much enjoying myself with a slather of barbecue sauce. Very nice. As you can tell, I'm someone that actually does enjoy a good steak burger, but my girlfriend has actually got me into the idea of going a little bit more vegetarian. I say vegetarian, not vegan. I don't think I could do that as yet. I think I can go for about 2 weeks without eating flesh. I've tried it. I actually can enjoy a vegetarian meal. I actually do enjoy that. The flavors and stuff that you get from a vegetarian burger or just a vegetarian meal, and vegetarian pizzas are actually really good. Because when you think about it, you get vegetarian pizzas, you might get it all the time. You get the margarita pizza, fucking vegetarian as fuck, by what I believe. I mean, you've got the cheese on there, obviously, so that's what makes it vegetarian, not vegan. Obviously, if you're getting a margarita pizza, you would go vegan cheese, and I think that's about as far as you got to go to as far as altering the cheese and altering the fucking feed or whatever. But yeah, that's my I really actually do enjoy vegetarian meals. And I thought about that actually. You probably eat more vegetarian meals more than you realize. Like, for example, for myself, like before I went to work, or before I will go to work, even now, like in the morning, I'll have a piece of toast with fucking like a bit of like peanut butter or something on it with a cup of coffee. Totally vegan, man. That's fucking, there's no meat in that. There's no meat involved in that type of thing. Get to work, have a, to tie yourself over before smoker or lunch, a muesli bar, a bit of yogurt, obviously. Yogurt is not vegan because it's yogurt. It comes from an animal. Eat the fucking yogurt. Still vegetarian, man. Yeah. What else do I have? An apple. Maybe a plum or a fucking pear or something else. Still, haven't eaten meat all fucking day. And then, to tie myself over, to get myself back home, get myself to the final finish line, just a fucking tin of tuna or a fucking salmon or whatever your preference is. And mate, I've eaten one piece of meat all day. Go home, have a fucking margarita pizza or some shit. It's not a bad fucking lifestyle, man. Like, I mean, you eat that stuff all day, every day anyway. The only difference is when you have a sandwich, instead of having just a salad sandwich or some shit, sometimes you add a bit of fucking fake ham in there. Those real thin pieces of shit that you get from the shopping centres. Instead of going to the deli, sometimes you go to the deli, sometimes you don't go to the deli, sometimes you just go, you get it straight out of the packet. There's real fucking thin layers of ham. The only thing keeping that from being vegan, you might have some mayo or something on that, so I guess I assume that has some sort of milk or something in it that might make it fucking vegetarian, not vegan. But the only thing stopping that from becoming vegan or vegetarian is that little piece of fucking ham that you've got in between it. Get rid of that. You're practically eating fucking vegan, mate. So, I don't know, there's people out there that'll say, I could never fucking go vegan even if you paid me. But I think to some degree, a lot of us already do that anyway, and we don't really realise it. I give it a go. I think I could go, I think the longest I've gone is about 2 weeks without eating a piece of meat, which say if I go eat a piece of, go 2 weeks without eating a piece of meat, fucking have a steak at the end of that fortnight, to get myself through the next 2 weeks, whatever. You're practically, most of the year, you're fucking only eating vegan anyway, so vegetarian or whatever it is. But fucking, it's actually not as hard as you might think it is. Like, I remember when my missus first talked to me about it, I said no fucking way would I ever be able to go without steak. And I love steak, mate. I can eat a steak without anything on it, like no pepper, no sauce, and I'll just cut that thing up and chew straight into it and enjoy it. Like, just because, like, the way you cook it, if you burn the shit out of it, obviously it's not nice. But you squeeze, like, you get a bit of fat on there, and like I'll push the fat right down into the fucking pan, and all that fat then starts to melt away and then into the steak itself. And that's what I believe, by what I've heard and by what I taste, is where the flavour comes from. Probably not very good for your heart because it's all fat, I suppose, but fuck it, tastes good. And by what I believe, I think rump steak has about 2% of fat in it or some shit, maybe 4. It's like fuck all percent of fat in it. So I'm sure, I'm not an expert on it. I'm sure your fucking body can handle it. It fucking handles all the other bullshit that you put into your body. So I'm sure it'll handle about 2% of fat in your fucking body. Just go for a walk, go for a jog or some shit. You'll burn it off. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I was definitely a person that said no fucking way would I be able to go without meat. And given the fact that I do eat tins of salmon and fucking whatever, on the majority of the days, but I don't know, it's actually not too bad of a lifestyle. And the way I felt about it, It's hard to say because sometimes, like, the way that I can sort of describe eating only vegetarian meals is that when I'm eating meat, it feels like I've got to break down the meat before it turns into energy. Look, I don't know if this is something that I'm imagining or if it's something that's actually happening. I don't really know. I've given it. Here's the thing. I have given it a pretty good go. So I've got a story from when last Christmas. So for about 2 weeks leading up to last Christmas, I was just eating I wasn't eating meat. I was just going the fucking vegetarian route. And what I felt like when I was going rock climbing is that before that, I felt like there was a part of me I just couldn't get to. There was parts of me that like I would climb and climb and climb, and I just couldn't get to that next level. I was just too like, I don't know, I just didn't have the energy. I just didn't have the force. And then for that 2 weeks, I felt like when I was inducing this the vegetarian meals that I was having, felt like it was going into my body and going straight into energy. And I felt like when I was climbing that I was accelerating. Like I felt like I was at an acceleration level of achievement. And it could be because there was one time in particular that I felt really good, and it could be because I had drank a coffee beforehand. That could have been the reason. But look, I don't know. I was eating fucking nothing but fucking vegetarian shit for the the period of that 2 weeks, and I don't know. I didn't feel like shit. I felt pretty good. I felt energized still. I didn't feel run down. I felt like I could take on my day. And when I got back home, when I say home, my original land of living in Bundaberg, I mean, when you get back home and you have Christmas, and you haven't told majority of your family that you have made that change, you don't go home where your family has made a big fucking fat ham and there's fucking prawns all over the table and chicken and all the fucking meat that you can really, seafood, chicken, ham. I think that's the majority of fucking foods at Christmas time. And obviously you got your breads and all that sort of stuff. You don't go home after you've just made this fucking sudden change and just say to them, look, I don't eat meat anymore. Like, I don't really, I mean, if someone lays down a feed right in front of me that they've done, they put their heart and soul into cooking, they might have just walked up to the shop and bought the prawns. But, I'm not going to say no. Look, I've made this decision not to eat meat 2 weeks ago. Fuck it. I'm going to eat your fucking food, all right? You've put the effort in. I'm going to put the effort into enjoying whatever it is you've made. I'm going to eat it, all right? And look, majority of the foods that you eat at Christmas time is meat, all right? I don't know what your family's like, but the families that I've been around, majority it's meat. Majority of it is meat. And so there are a lot of factors into the way that I was feeling that could have come into play. One, I don't know if I was sleeping that well. Two, a lot of what you eat during Christmas time is shit. So, I mean, even if you are eating chicken, it's usually some fucking roasted chicken from some Woolworths that they've just soaked in fucking fats and oils and things like that anyway. So I'm sure that isn't good for you in general. So that's probably why I felt not the way that I felt when I was eating like only vegetarian meals for those 2 weeks. So what I'm trying to say is, like, when I went home to Christmas, for Christmas to my family, I didn't feel as good as I did when I was just eating like a vegetarian diet. I didn't feel as good. I felt run down. I felt unenergetic. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think maybe I wasn't sleeping that well because you have your family over and all that. You know, it's early rises and you know, you go to bed late and things like that. So bad sleep. You know, poor eating anyway. Like I said, you might get a chicken, but it's just a Woolies chook that you got from fucking Woolworths. From the oil bath of Australia, fucking straight out of the oven, onto your plate, into your gut. And even the hams, I suppose, probably cooked in oils and things like that that aren't really like good for you. And then in between that, you've just got breads and fucking trifles and lollies and stuff. So it's not very nutritional anyway. So that's probably why I felt as bad as I did. So it's not really a good comparison, but I've just been trying to monitor it. So I'll stop, you know, I won't eat meat for a couple of days or a week or whatever, and then I'll finally eat a piece of steak. And I don't really know what it is, but there are times that I don't feel quite as on my game when I start to eat meat again. And yeah, like I'm trying, like I don't know, yeah, I'm trying to be skeptical. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not completely talking shit, which I could well be. I could be imagining all this, but I don't know. I just don't think that I am. I think I do. I don't know, even being, like, I thought, like, eating just vegetarian meals, I would feel extremely hungry. But, no, not at all. I get pretty full, actually. I had a margarita pizza last night. And, there was cheese just made out of almonds. It was, like, almonds grated up, like in a blender with like all these other like herbs and spices, like white pepper, got some basil in there, onion powder, garlic powder. There's other things in there that I can't really remember. I just used fucking skim milk. I didn't really worry about fucking. There's like unsweetened, soy milk or some shit that you can use. I didn't do that. I just went fuck. I don't want to do that. But yeah, so that's supposed to be the cheese, and then you cook it in a fucking saucepan for about 10 minutes or so. And then you get your pizza sauce, you put that on your crust, and then you just use that as your cheese. So you fucking, once you fucking cook it on the saucepan or whatever, it turns into this like cheesy sort of like kind of thing. And then you put it onto the thing, you cook it like a normal pizza, and you chew into it, and it tastes, I can imagine it tastes like cheese, man. It tastes like flavored cheese. It tastes pretty good. And I had, I can make up a homemade pizza, and I can eat a full pizza to myself plus like another half or another quarter or something. But this one, like, I finished that pizza, bro, and yeah, no, I was good. I was pretty good after that. Like, there's not much in it, but just pizza crust. Actually, I'm lying to you. I had a fucking brownie afterwards, so that's probably what did it. Yeah, so, and I believe it was a vegan brownie. We got it there's a place up the road from us called Charlie's Raw Squeeze. Fucking brilliant stuff. Chew into that fucking brownie. Very nice. It'll make you go sugarless. I think it's sugarless. I believe it is. I mean, sugar's vegan, right? It's not made out of any animals that I know of. But yeah, fucking good stuff. Really nice. We watched a movie last night called The Platform. Fuck me dead, mate. G'day, if I can tell you what. Good movie. Fucking, I think they're French. I think they're speaking French, but they've got obviously the fucking subtitles and stuff that you can read along with. If you don't speak French, anyway, watch that movie, man. It's very it's like a psychological thriller. Very good. Anyone that is of age and doesn't get too uneasy with that sort of stuff, give it a go. It's a pretty good movie. I was thinking about the other day. I was thinking about Prince Harry and his Mrs. Meghan Markle, right? So I was coming up with these little ideas in my head when where I work, I drive a loader, so I get a lot of time to think to myself. And Meghan Markle's name, right? Her name reminds me of like the way that you would pronounce it or the way that you would deliver it. Sounds like that fucking dead chick off of Harry Potter called Moaning Myrtle. But the way, like, I can imagine Meghan Markle, like, if you were to ask her what her name is, I can only, like, because I think it's like soap opera sort of shit that she acts in. I don't really know. I think it's Suits that she acts in. I haven't seen Suits. I have heard people say that it's good, but I just haven't given it a go for myself yet. But I can't, for some reason, when I see her, I just imagine her with like a dodo brain. And they ask you, like, oh, what's your name? And she's like, Meghan Markle. My name is Meghan Markle. Like, obviously with her American accent. Like, Moaning Myrtle. Meghan Markle. But Moaning Myrtle obviously sounds depressed, but this bitch, she would be uplifted because she's got a dodo brain, and can't process negative emotions because her name is Meghan Markle. Okay, so I was trying to research. I was like, okay, is she actually married to Prince Harry? I don't know. I was thinking about it, so I was like, I'll Google the name. And then I realized that while I'm doing this, I could be like researching this shit while I'm doing the podcast. And then a couple of you might think, oh, well, you can use your laptop to research this stuff. And then I realized, no, I'll use my phone because my phone is where I do my Googling. Where I do my Googling is on my phone. So, I researched this stuff. I did my Googling on my phone. Found out that, yeah, indeed, Meghan Markle is related. Oh, not related. She's married to fucking Prince of Harry. I got my words all mixed up. Prince Harry. Sorry, I blame the Black Douglas. I think that you're about to see a little bit of my brain go a little bit dodo as well, because this stuff is quite nice, but it goes to your head. Yeah, so Meghan Markle is married to Prince Harry. I'll do some Googling and make sure that indeed is the correct thing. Meghan Markle. So, going, because, let's face it, my phone works a ton better than my laptop these days. Prince Harry. And there you go. Harry and Meghan volunteer to deliver food for overloaded LA charity. All right, that's very nice. But I believe that it's very nice, actually. It's really nice. I think, by what I saw, I think that I remember seeing this on the news, that Prince Harry wanted to quit the royal family with old Meghan Markle. And it just got me thinking, imagine 5 years from now, he quits now. 5 years from now, Prince Harry is just regular Harry. He's 5 years, I'm sure, to be honest, who knows, like, what does the royal family do? Apart from, donate money to fucking charities and stuff. Like, forget about that. All right. I'm sure that in 5 years' time, you would just know him as regular Harry. Just good old Harry. Good old Harry. And I thought, so obviously if he quits the royal family, he's got to give up the money, right? You can't just quit the family and keep all of the fucking the riches that go along with being in a royal family. You've got to quit all the fucking shit. You quit the family, you quit the money, you quit all of the stuff that comes along with it, right? So I can only imagine. I mean, I know that he was in the Royal Army or something like that, but my brain wants to imagine him in 5 years' time, that he's just regular old Harry, a mechanic down the road that fucking works on everyday cars for everyday people. Just good old Harry. Good on you, Harry. Working on your... Good old Harry. Good on you, Harry. Are you... My name's Harry. My name's Harry. My name... Good old Harry. Yeah, so... Good old Harry working on cars for regular people. Regular Harry working on cars, working under the bonnet for regular people. And so he's working under the fucking bonnet. So 5 years down the track, Prince Harry becomes regular Harry. He's a mechanic and he has an offsider. And his offsider asked him the question. And he's working under the fucking bonnet. He's twisting a few fucking knobs and doing the fucking things that mechanics do. And I realize you could probably turn this into a skit. I just imagine, for some reason, like regular Harry just has like grease on his, like actual grease on his fucking hands. And when he's working under the car, his boss is also under the car and he's just like greasing his boss's nipples. Like, ooh, yeah. I might do the actions, but just like can you just imagine the pan that comes down and it's just him like greasing his boss's nipples and it's like, oh, get it under there, you fucking dickhead. Like the way, like a scary movie or something like that. Anyway, his offsider asks him, so what'd you do before this? He's like, and he's got a cocky, I'm going to try and do a cocky accent. Well, what'd you do before this? Well, I was Prince Harry. Well, I was Prince Harry before this, mate. I was the Prince of England before all this, mate. He's got a cocky accent now because he's not Prince Harry anymore. He's regular Harry. What'd you do before all this? I was the Prince of England, wasn't I? You what? You? Prince of England? And then another mate comes across. Yeah, he's not lying, mate. He was. This was the Prince of England, this one was. Yep. He's not lying to you. You were the Prince of England? Fucking oath I was, mate. Have at it, mate. What? You think I'm talking shit, mate? No. I'm just wondering. If you were the Prince of England, why did you leave? A lot of fucking dirty stories in that family, mate. I'll tell you what. Dark stories. Oh, yeah, like what? Them pharmaceutical companies? They're practically fucking drug runners, mate. And you know who the top dog is? The Queen of England. So he pauses for a bit, right? And old mate, offsider goes, so you're telling me that the top dog drug lord of all those pharmaceutical companies is your grandma. Too right, mate. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, and then and then it goes from there. I mean, you could dive deep, bro. I think you could just keep diving. You know, they were the reason why fucking George Bush fucking signed the fucking papers for the 9/11 attempt, and you could fucking talk about shit like that, and you can talk about why banks fucking rob people, and you could fucking go. I mean, I didn't really think that far ahead. I just thought pharmaceutical companies, drug runners, the Queen. You got your skit, mate. Fucking jog on, mate. Fucking jog on. What else do you want from me? So that's what I think about while I'm working. I get plenty of time to think about bullshit that then I will then pass on to this microphone into your ear holes. And I don't research any of this stuff. I don't know if because there's heaps of stuff that's going on where it's like Prince Andrew was a convicted pedophile or some shit. Don't quote me on this. Don't know if it's true. Have no idea. Apparently that's somewhere I read it somewhere on Facebook. So that's definitely not the place where you want to get your information from. But yeah, I read that somewhere, and the Jeffrey Epstein thing where he didn't kill himself, and Prince Andrew must have had a lot of bad stuff that he wanted to hide. And then it just made me think, like, with all this underbelly shit that goes on with like banks and pharmaceutical companies and Fuck Island and like all this other weird stuff that obviously that conspiracy theorists say that Jeffrey Epstein had all the information on. That's why they had to off him. And somehow Prince Andrew is in amongst all that sort of stuff. You just wonder, someone's got to be the top dog man, and who better to have as, the sweep under the rug of all that information than the fucking royal family. Because let's face it, are you forgetting how fucking messed up the royal family used to be? You think about even probably let's give it like 300 years ago. I don't really know. Where the fuck do you think the term "off with his head" came from? It came from the Queen, man. It came from the royal family at least. So we're supposed to believe that a royal family of fucking centuries, just all of a sudden switched off all that fucking insane fucking bullshit. They get given riches, they get given royalty, they get given all of this opportunity. Have you ever met a spoilt brat? They're fucking psychos, man. They're nutcases. I always think that nothing's going right in their lives, so they want to fucking punch a cat for some reason. I don't know if they want to do that. But like, have you ever met a spoilt brat? I'm just telling you. Well, I'm just saying that if there's ever bound to be a spoiled brat, it's got to be somewhere in that royal family. And history tells us that they weren't very nice. That's all I'm saying. And it just made me think, like, what else? Who else could be the boss? Imagine. And I watched this TV show called Mindhunters. They've got 2 seasons at the moment, but it's a fucking good. Another psychological thing. I like things to do with the mind, bro. I like that sort of stuff. And yeah, basically this Mindhunters thing, they it's back in the 70s, back where the term serial killer hadn't arose from the depths yet. These guys were still just discovering what a serial killer actually was. And so they're interviewing all these serial killers, and they're starting to put together bits and pieces, and starting to see patterns where these people that kill a lot seem to have things in common, where they were abused as kids, and it's very sad. They were, created into this person. They didn't just become this person. They weren't just born this person. They were created by abuse as they were growing up, and a lack of love, a lack of empathy from the people in their lives that should have given them that. So it turns them out to be fucking psychopaths. And the one thing that I realized that psychopaths are really good at is making you feel comfortable around them. Is making you feel like nothing's going wrong, everything's going very well, which does something to your trust issues. Like how are you supposed to know that when you're talking to someone that this motherfucker's not going to stab me in my sleep? Oh, you want to be my fucking housemate? Yeah, no worries. Fucking off you. The only problem is if they're your housemate and they stab you, obviously they're the fucking prime suspect. But all I'm saying is that they're very good at making you feel comfortable around them. And it was a great example in one of the episodes there, where they're talking to this guy and they're trying to find out who's killing someone, who's killed somebody, and they're trying to figure this story out. And there's one person that they speak to, and as a viewer you think, wow, this guy couldn't have done it. He seems okay. But turns out he's exactly that kind of person. You don't really find out, but you know that this guy, he's the one that pulled off the murder, and he blames it on somebody else. And that somebody else actually cops the repercussions of all of that. And so, rounding back to that, holy shit, this thing just fucking popped up and scared the shit out of me. Could that be exactly the same thing going on with the royal family? And that's obviously a very big accusation to make, and I'm actually just talking shit. I'm not saying that they're like that at all. I'm just talking shit. Obviously I haven't researched any of this, and I would suggest, before you take this as biblical, straight out of the Bible, I would research a little bit and find out if any of what I'm saying could potentially add up. I don't think it would. Installing updates when it's convenient for you. If your PC isn't available at your scheduled time, blah 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 blah. Restart on blah blah. Restart tomorrow. Alright, I'm doing shit, you motherfuckers. Got a fucking message about updating my computer right in the middle of my fucking podcast. Can you believe this shit? This fucking computer can see what I'm doing. He's looking straight at me. There's a fucking light bulb on, looking at me, telling me, and now we all know you fucking your deal. You're pretending like nothing's going on, but you got a plan. These fucking, what I'm saying, I reckon that these robots, man, we could be in for some interesting things down the track. I saw this thing on Facebook the other day, where this guy made a robot read something. He made the robot read a book, and then he made the robot write a story about that book. I can't remember what the book was. I can't remember. Anyway, he made the robot read the book, and then the robot wrote an essay about the book. It was fucking like, it was a shit essay, but all I'm saying is we have robots that can read books now. We've got computers that can read books now and then do essays. They're shit essays, but I don't think we want them to become more than shit essays, bro. Because once these motherfuckers start thinking for themselves, that's out with humanity, man. Like, what's humanity gonna do against robots that can fucking invent things? I mean, imagine if the robots if they start inventing things that we can't even comprehend. Maybe that's what aliens are, bro. Like, we think about aliens making something beyond our comprehension. Maybe that's what aliens will be. Maybe they'll just be AI. And they'll make something that makes some fucking combustible engine where that doesn't need propellers or some shit. I don't know. Fucking some sort of... Like, you think about how far we've come as a human race, where we've got jet engines that just fucking blast off fucking jets into the sky. You think about that. Like 300 years ago, they couldn't even think about air travel whatsoever, and we've got things shooting into the fucking into space, and we're literally talking about travel to Mars and travel to the moon and things like that. You think about, we as human beings can, not people like us, like scientists and stuff that actually have a fucking genius brain, think of things. They literally go, I wonder if I could make a robot and shoot it into the sky, and they fucking do it somehow. Like Elon Musk, man. Have you seen the shit he's been doing? It's fucking incredible. The way that a human can think. It's like he is a robot that or an alien or some kind that it's just fucking landed here on Earth, and he's just fucking like I don't know why I did that tongue thing. I just imagine him actually being an alien, and he's just impersonating humans, and he's giving us knowledge that we otherwise wouldn't have. Like, kind of like he's sort of saying, he's been sent from another alien race, and he's like showing us, because they're like, catch up, motherfuckers! Like, hurry the fuck up! We're already here, and you guys are fucking around. Anyway, humans have some crazy shit that's going. We've got some crazy shit going on. Like, what I realized, not that long ago, a little while ago, that we talk about like flying cars and things like that, and I realized that we've had flying cars for a very long time, and those cars are called aeroplanes. And it carries like 200 people at a time. I think 200 plus people at a time. And it carries people from one side of the fucking world. 13 hours time, you're in fucking LA or something like that. Or maybe it's longer, I don't know, 17 hours, something like that. But fuck, man, that used to take... How many years did it used to take for a fucking ship to travel across the sea to actually find this place? And the navigation systems and all that bullshit that they used to have to fucking do. Probably pretty genius people traveling across the fucking sea. Here's nautical miles and this. And they figured that shit, they figured out how to fucking do stuff, man. Probably like, you think of like people like Elon Musk. Absolute fucking geniuses with navigational travel, but they could also beat you up like Mike Tyson. That's probably that kind of person. They're fucking intelligent as shit, but also know how to beat you up like Mike Tyson, or like Muhammad Ali or some shit. Just fucking little Mike Tyson geniuses beating people up and fucking traveling the seas and shit, being smart and fucking drawing iguanas and stuff, and not even knowing what an iguana is, but naming it an iguana because they've got scientific fucking knowledge about what kind of shape that fucking lizard is, and they call it an iguana, and they draw it because they're also fucking awesome artists at the same time, as well as being a fucking navigational genius and also knocking people out like Mike Tyson. Jesus Christ, those people were fucking animals back in those days. And now we've got people that put all of their energy into navigational travel. Like, we think about navigational travel, I'm just making shit up, just travel in general. You think about how crazy that used to be, where, like, that's just what humans are, man. They're all about discovery. They're all about travel. Who knows how far we are off before, you know, I suppose we as humans, we've mastered I suppose you'd call it the art or the science of travel on this planet. You know, we have airborne travel. We have ships now that travel fucking fast and don't sink like the Titanic. We have we literally have cruisers. I mean, they used to sail around on their fucking boats, and you know, that was obviously work for them. Now we go on ships just to have fun. We go on there and get pissed and sit around and do fuck all on a ship and go places. You know, for them, back then, it was like, if we're going places, be prepared to possibly see your mate get fucking thrown overboard, and see you later, bro. Yeah, you're dead, mate. You're dead. Now, we get on a fucking boat, we cruise down to the Bahamas or some shit, while we get pissed, and some poor fucking Taiwanese lady looks after our shoes and washes our fucking feet for a couple of hours a day. That's what we get here as humans. We've come a long way. So how long does it take before we master the art of travelling out to space and finding all these new places? I mean, we can already look outwards with fucking huge telescopes and see that, you know, there's a fucking black hole out at the middle of nowhere in space. You know, we've got all this knowledge already. We just haven't mastered the art of traveling outwards into space. It's fucking, and I can only imagine that within, mate, even another 300 years time, we would have come so far, if we haven't died already. Like, we haven't died by that time. Obviously, if this COVID-19 shit doesn't fuck us all over. In saying that too, makes you wonder, you know, if we didn't have travel as well as we have it right now, would COVID-19 have spread as quickly as it has? Makes you wonder, like, if we didn't love traveling so much and discovering the world all the time, fucking all these people that I don't want to buy a house, I just want to travel the world. Yeah, and you fucking bring COVID-19 back home with you. Fucking bad. No, don't worry about that one. That's just, no. People should be able to do whatever they want, man. I would love to be that kind of person. I'd love to be that kind of person that had the money to just travel and see the world. I want to go to Greece. I want to see. I want to go to Venice, man. I want to see all that sort of stuff. I totally would love to be able to do that sort of stuff. And to have a house too, like have a house and go traveling. That would be sick. Go traveling, come back home without COVID-19, and then be in my house. Fucking what a life for that. I mean, is that asking for too much? I don't think so. I think we should all be able to travel and see the world, and maybe traveling and seeing the world might make us understand each other a little bit more. Like, I think maybe I think humanity has taken has taken a step in the right direction. I don't. I don't. I mean, I might be naive to the situation, but what I could believe, but what I can see, the world doesn't seem to be as bad as it was. Like, I mean, you don't have sailors traveling for the great or good, and raping and pillaging fucking villages, because they can. I mean, you do have people that still do bad things in the world, and will that ever go away? I don't know. I think the world has some pretty messed up people in it, and even though we want it all to go away, I don't know if it will. I'm not really sure about that. But anyway, it just doesn't seem to be as bad as that this day and age, but that might be just because I am a white guy in Australia that has all the privileges in the world. That might be what it is. Maybe I don't see it because I'm privileged enough not to see it. Maybe that's what it is. And to be honest, this is how fucking naive I am. If I don't see it on Facebook, then I didn't see it, pretty much. That's a millennial living in a Western world. If you don't see it on Facebook, then you didn't see it at all. Like, I think that to a point that people have been like that maybe for a little while. If they didn't see it on the news, it didn't happen, you know? Which is not the case at all. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen, right? Things happen to people all the time that you don't see. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Which brings me to this fucking point when they say the whole thing, that Simpsons thing where they talk about if a tree falls down in the woods and nobody's around to see it, did the tree actually make any sound? Yeah, it did. It did make sound. And I'll tell you why. Just because nobody was around to hear it doesn't mean it didn't happen. I'm sure all of the fucking beetles and rabbits and fucking birds and butterflies around that could fucking hear it. I'm sure if they could speak English or fucking human language, I'm sure they'd tell you it fucking happened, mate. It fucking landed on my house down the road, mate. Fucking, it happened. I'm sure if they could speak, they'd fucking let you know, mate. That's right. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I think that's all I have really to share with you guys. I feel like, though, did anyone else have parents like this when they were growing up? Like they'd sit, you'd go shopping, you'd go food shopping or whatever. You'd be out the front of Woolies or something, Coles, whatever. And your parents would run into someone from work and they'd be like, "Hey, mate, what's going on? How the fuck are you, mate? What's going on? Jesus Christ, is that fucking Jimmy? Fucking haven't seen you in 2 days. What's going on? I haven't seen you in 2 days because it's the fucking weekend, mate." Anyway. And then they'd always have a conversation with them and, you know, obviously take way too long because you're a kid. You want to get home and do whatever the fuck you do as kids when you get home. Kick the footy, fucking punch your siblings, do something like that, do something fun. But they'd always do this thing where they go, "Anyway, mate, better let you go. Oh, so how's the missus? How's the misso going? Oh, mate, she fucking just fell pregnant with a third fucking child, mate. Oh, fucking Jesus Christ." And you hear that, and as a kid, you just go, "Oh, fuck me." Like, you don't say fuck me, because obviously you get fucking decked by your parents if you swear, if you were brought up in that household. "Oh, fuck me." So this is the equivalent of a kid saying, "Oh, fuck me." They just go. That's a kid saying, "Oh, for fuck's sake." That's a kid. That's a kid doing that. Like, that's another thing that parents do. They say to you, don't swear because it's bad manners. But have you ever seen your dad hit his thumb while he's trying to hammer in a fucking nail? They fucking swear, bro. I'm telling you, they fucking swear. Tell me not to fucking swear? You know what the equivalent of you hitting your nail? Hitting your fucking thumb with a hammer while you're trying to hammer in a nail? You know what the equivalent of that is? You starting up a second conversation with your mate Jimmy from work about shit that I don't give a fuck about. I'm not a fucking grown up. I want to get home and I want to play the fucking PlayStation or kick the footy or punch my fucking cat in the head. Not the cat. I like the cat. But if you were a fucking spoiled brat, you'd probably punch the cat, wouldn't you? Trying to... I don't know if you do that or not. Fucking been going for an hour. And... I'm starting to run out of this, so... yeah. I might wrap it up there then. I think I've spoken enough shit. If you're listening, fucking appreciate it. I really do. If you keep on listening, I'll fucking appreciate you again. I fucking will. No, I really wanted to. This thing's good for me, I reckon. Like I said in the first episode, it's a bit of a COVID-19 thought diary where I can just come back at the end of the week or whenever I feel like doing it, and I can just put all my fucking thoughts and whatever into a platform and share it with you guys. And I hope it resonates with you guys in some sort of way. Or just entertains you or something, or does something for you. But I'm really, I'm doing this for myself, but hopefully it also helps anyone who listens at the same time. I guess I'll see you in the next one. See you, fellas and girls. See you, anyone who's listening. I love you and appreciate you.